My son texted at 11:02 p.m., 2 nights before the family trip I'd been planning for 3 years. You won't be joining us. My wife prefers to keep the vacation just for her family. You've already done your part by paying. I sat at my kitchen table staring at those words until the screen went dark. Then I opened my banking app, found the travel fund account, and clicked one button. Freeze. They boarded that plane at 10:45 a.m. thinking everything was paid for. The card declined at 30,000 feet. This is what happened next. My name is Marilyn Rose Monroe. I'm 64 years old, retired English teacher from Riverside, California. I have one son, Nathan, 38, married to Tanya for 6 years. 2 grandchildren, Olivia, 7, and Mason, 4. This story isn't about being petty. It's about the moment I realized I'd spent 3 years funding a vacation I was never actually invited to. Let me take you back to March 2020. I had just retired after 34 years teaching high school English. My husband James had died 8 months earlier from pancreatic cancer. Sudden diagnosis. Gone in 12 weeks. I was 61, alone in a 4-bedroom house in Riverside, trying to figure out what life looked like without the man I'd spent 39 years with. Nathan called me 2 weeks after my retirement party. Mom, I've been thinking. We should do a big family trip. Something to celebrate you retiring and to, heal as a family after Dad. My heart lifted for the first time in months. That sounds wonderful. I'm thinking Hawaii. Dad always talked about taking you back there for your anniversary. James and I had honeymooned in Maui in 1981. We were 24, broke, sharing a single suitcase. We ate convenience store sandwiches and got sunburned on the first day. It was perfect. We'd always planned to go back for our 40th anniversary. He died 3 months before we could. Hawaii, I said, my voice breaking. That would be perfect. Great. Let's start planning. All of us. You, me, Tanya, the kids. Real family time. I started saving that day. I set up a dedicated account I called Hawaii Family Fund. Every dollar I didn't absolutely need went into it. My teacher's pension was $3,847 a month. Social Security added $1,923. Total monthly income, $5,770. My house was paid off. My needs were simple. I calculated I could save $2,200 a month if I was careful. I canceled cable. Saved $147 a month. I stopped my meal delivery service. Saved $280 a month. I quit my book club that met at expensive cafes. Saved $85 a month. I started tutoring English online 3 nights a week. Added $540 a month. Every time I skipped buying something, new shoes, a dinner out, a movie, I transferred that amount to the Hawaii Fund. $15 here. $32 there. $8.50 for the coffee I didn't buy. It added up slowly, quietly, like hope tends to do. For 3 years I saved. While Nathan and Tanya's lives got busier, while my invitations to family dinners became less frequent, while Tanya started hosting holidays at her mother's house without mentioning it until the day before, I kept saving. Because this trip was going to fix everything. This trip was going to bring us back together. This trip was going to remind Nathan where he came from, who loved him first. By March 2023, The account had $21,763.84. I found a beachfront villa in Maui that could sleep all 7 of us. Me, Nathan, Tanya, the kids, and I'd assumed Tanya's parents might want to join. The villa was $8,400 for the week. I booked it. Flights for 7 from Lax to Maui, $4,872. I booked them. Rental car for the week, $847. Booked. Dinner reservations at Mama's Fish House, the restaurant James and I had dreamed of trying, $650 estimated. Reserved. Snorkeling excursion, $420 for all of us. Booked. Luau tickets, $580. Booked. Kids surf lessons, $240. Booked. I made detailed itineraries. I bought matching family t-shirts with everyone's names. I packed a photo of James, planning to bring it to the beach one evening and light a candle in his memory. I imagined us standing around that candle, barefoot in the sand. I imagined Olivia asking, "Did Grandpa love the beach too?" And I'd say, "He loved it so much he brought me here before we could really afford it." I imagined Nathan putting his arm around me and saying, "Thanks for doing this, Mom. Dad would have loved seeing all of us here together." That was the dream I built out of 3 years of sacrifices, small and silent. Then came the text. April 18th, 2023. 11:02 p.m. I was in my kitchen organizing the last of the travel-size sunscreen bottles. I'd labeled Ziploc bags for each grandchild with their names in permanent marker. Each bag had sunscreen, aloe vera, Band-Aids, and a small toy I'd picked up. My phone buzzed. Nathan. "Hey Mom, need to talk about the trip. Tanya and I have been discussing the sleeping arrangements and honestly it's getting complicated with everyone's schedules and the kids' routines." I typed back, "I'm flexible. I can take whichever room works best." 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Nathan, actually, here's the thing. Tanya feels like having too many people might stress the kids out. She thinks it should be more intimate. Just her immediate family. I read it 3 times. Me, I'm your immediate family. Nathan, you know what I mean. Her parents are coming and her sister with her boyfriend. It's already a lot of people. Adding you would just make it more crowded. My hands started shaking. Me, Nathan, I've been planning this trip for 3 years. I've paid for everything. Nathan, right? And we're super grateful. You've done your part. But Tanya really wants this to be her family's bonding time. You understand, right? You'll have other chances to see the kids. I stared at my phone. At the Ziploc bags with my grandchildren's names. At the photo of James I'd planned to bring to the beach. Me. Let me make sure I understand. I'm not invited to the trip I planned and paid for. Nathan. It's not about being invited or not invited, Mom. It's about what works best for everyone. Tanya's family hasn't had a real vacation in years. This is important to her. Me. And I'm not part of everyone? Nathan. Don't take it personally. It's just logistics. The villa's already feeling tight with 8 people. 9 would be too much. 8 people. I opened my laptop with shaking hands. Pulled up the villa booking confirmation. Scanned down to the guest list section. Nathan Monroe. Tanya Monroe. Olivia Monroe, child. Mason Monroe, child. Richard Peters, Tanya's father. Susan Peters, Tanya's mother. Ashley Peters, Tanya's sister. Brandon Hughes, Ashley's boyfriend. 8 names. Not 9. They'd never planned for me to come. I scrolled through the flight confirmations. 8 tickets. Booked 3 months ago when I thought I was booking for 9. I checked the rental car reservation. 8-passenger Suburban. The luau. 8 tickets. The snorkeling excursion. 8 people. Everything was for 8. I'd paid for a trip I was never invited to. They'd let me fund their entire vacation while quietly planning my exclusion. I sat in the dark kitchen, the only sound the hum of the refrigerator and the blood pounding in my ears. My phone buzzed again. Nathan. Mom? You there? Look, I know this isn't what you expected, but you can plan your own trip sometime. Maybe somewhere closer and cheaper. This Hawaii thing is really Tanya's vision and we need to respect that. I looked at the photo of James on my desk. At the 39 years of marriage certificates and love letters and memories in frames around the house. At the empty chair at the kitchen table where he used to sit. I opened my banking app. Found the Hawaii Family Fund. $21,763.84. The account I'd created. The account I'd funded. The account linked to every single booking. I tapped through to the account settings. There it was. Transaction lock freeze mode. One button. My finger hovered over it. I thought about Nathan at 6 years old, making me breakfast in bed with burnt toast and too much butter. About teenage Nathan bringing me pink tulips every Mother's Day. About the card he made me in 2nd grade that said "My mom saves the day" with a picture of me in a cape. About the son who just told me I'd done my part by paying and should now disappear. I clicked freeze. The screen updated. Freeze mode activated. All transactions paused. Linked cards disabled. Manual authorization required to resume. I set down the phone. Made a cup of peppermint tea. Sat with it in the dark. I didn't feel triumph. I didn't feel revenge. I felt clarity. They hadn't forgotten to invite me. They deliberately excluded me and assumed I'd be too grateful, too passive, too desperate for scraps of their attention to notice or care. They thought I'd fund their dream vacation and then smile from Riverside while they posted photos of family bonding time that didn't include me. They were wrong. I turned off my phone and went to bed. For the first time in 3 years, I slept through the night. The harassment started at 8:47 a.m. the next morning. I woke naturally, no alarm. Made coffee. Opened the curtains to let morning light flood the kitchen. Only then did I plug my phone back in. It took 12 seconds to boot up. Then the notifications exploded. 47 missed calls. 89 text messages. 14 voicemails. I sipped my coffee and started reading. Nathan, 12:43 a.m. Mom. Something's wrong with the cards. Can you check the account? Nathan, 1:15 a.m. Seriously? I need you to respond. The villa is showing a payment error. Nathan, 2:02 a.m. MOM. We're leaving in 8 hours. Whatever's going on with the bank, you need to fix it now. Tanya, 2:34 a.m. Marilyn. Nathan says you're not responding about the payment issues. This is really unprofessional. We have children who are expecting this trip. Nathan, 3:18 a.m. I just tried to confirm the rental car and it declined. What did you do? Nathan, For 05 a.m. Mom, I know you're upset about the arrangement, but this is childish. The kids are going to be devastated if this trip falls apart. I made toast, buttered it slowly, took my time. Nathan, 5:52 a.m. We're getting ready to leave for the airport. Please call me back. Tanya, 6:23 a.m. I always knew you were selfish, but this is a new low. Punishing innocent children because your feelings are hurt. Nathan, 7:11 a.m. Fine. We're going to the airport anyway. I'm sure this is just a bank error. I'll call them from the gate. I looked at the clock. 8:47 a.m. They'd be at Lax by now. Check-in would be starting. I poured a second cup of coffee and opened my photo albums. Found pictures of Nathan as a baby, as a toddler, as a teenager. The son I'd raised alone while James worked 2 jobs to give us a good life. The son I'd put through college. The son whose wedding I'd helped pay for. The son who texted me at 11:02 p.m. to tell me I'd done my part and should now disappear. My phone rang. Nathan. I let it ring out. It rang again immediately. Let it ring. Text from Nathan, 9:14 a.m. They're saying all the cards are declining. The villa, the flights, everything. Mom, what did you do? I typed one sentence. I respected Tanya's wishes for an intimate family vacation. I watched the 3 dots appear, disappear, appear again. Nathan, 9:16 a.m. This isn't funny. We're at the gate. The kids are crying. Tanya's parents are furious. You need to unlock whatever you did right now. Me? You said I'd done my part by paying. I'm just making sure Tanya's family can enjoy their bonding time without the complication of my presence or my money. Nathan, 9:18 a.m. MOM. We are about to board a flight to Hawaii. If these cards don't work, we'll be stuck there with no car, no villa, nothing. Me, that does sound stressful. You should call Tanya's family. I'm sure they'd be happy to help. I blocked his number. Then I blocked Tanya's. Then I opened my laptop. The rental car company had already sent a cancellation notice due to payment failure. The villa had sent a warning about the decline charge. The luau had cancelled our reservation. I thought about them boarding that plane. Confident everything was fine. Ready to post Instagram stories from 30,000 feet about their family adventure. I thought about the moment they'd try to pick up the rental car and every card would decline. I thought about them standing at the villa with their luggage and no way to check in. I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. My phone buzzed with a new number. I picked up. Mrs. Monroe? This is Jennifer from Island Luxury Rentals calling about your villa reservation. We're showing a declined payment and your check-in is today at 3 p.m. Hawaii time. Can we run another card? No, thank you. Please cancel the reservation. Oh, okay. Just so you know, since this is a same-day cancellation, you won't receive a refund of your deposit. I understand. Cancel it. May I ask, is everything okay? I looked around my quiet kitchen, at James's photo, at the empty house that had felt so lonely for 3 years. Everything's perfect. Thank you. I hung up. Blocked that number too. Over the next 6 hours, I received calls from the airline, couldn't process payment for baggage fees. The snorkeling company, card declined, reservation cancelled. Mama's Fish House, reservation cancelled due to no-show fee unpaid. A blocked number that was definitely Tanya's mother. I ignored them all. At 2:37 p.m., my doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole. Nathan. Tanya. 2 kids. 4 roller suitcases. All of them standing on my porch. I opened the door. "What happened?" was all I said. Nathan's face was red. Exhausted. We landed and nothing worked. No rental car. No villa. No backup plan. We had to book return flights on Tanya's credit card, and even that almost maxed out. We just got back to Lax an hour ago. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry? MOM. You sabotaged our entire vacation. Do you know what we just went through? The kids crying on the plane? Tanya's parents screaming at us in the airport? Her sister posting about what a disaster this was. Nathan, you told me I'd done my part. I agreed. I'm no longer participating. Tanya pushed forward. Mascara streaked down her face. You're a horrible person. Those are your grandchildren. You traumatized them. I traumatized them? You told them they were going to Hawaii knowing you'd excluded their grandmother from the trip she planned and paid for. We had every right to curate our guest list. With my money. I kept my voice level. Calm. You had every right to plan your own trip with your own funds. You didn't have the right to spend 3 years letting me believe I was included while secretly planning to leave me behind. Nathan's voice cracked. So you destroyed everything? Out of spite? No. Out of self-respect. I looked at my son. Really looked at him. For 3 years I saved every penny I could spare. I tutored online until midnight. I ate ramen so I could add an extra $20 to the Hawaii fund. I canceled everything that brought me joy because I thought we were building a memory together. I gestured to the suitcases. And you texted me at 11:02 at night, 2 days before departure, to tell me I'd done my part and should disappear. Like I was a bank. Like my only value was funding your wife's vision of a perfect family vacation that didn't include me. We would have made it up to you. With what? A postcard? A magnet? A phone call from the beach while you were all together and I was home alone in Riverside. Silence. Here's what's going to happen, I said quietly. You're going to take your family and leave my porch. You're going to think very carefully about what you did. And when you're ready to apologize, really apologize, not just smooth things over, you know where I am. Mom, please. You told me I wasn't immediate family, Nathan. So I'm respecting that boundary. Go be with your immediate family. I closed the door, locked it, walked to the kitchen window and watched them load back into their car. Watched them drive away. Then I sat down at my laptop and opened a new document. I made a list. Not of grudges. Of truth. Women who were overlooked. Underestimated. Used up. Carol from church, whose children hadn't called in 2 years. Beverly, who'd never seen the ocean. Dorothy, whose family forgot her 70th birthday. Linda, who'd cared for her mother for 15 years and got written out of the will. Patricia, my former colleague who'd put 3 kids through college and now lived alone in a studio apartment. 6 women. All around my age. All invisible to the families they'd sacrificed everything for. I opened my banking app. The Hawaii Family Fund showed $21,763.84. Available. Unfrozen. Mine. I started making calls. Carol? It's Marilyn. How would you feel about going to Hawaii next month? My treat. 6 of us. 1 week. No strings attached. Silence. Then, Marilyn, I can't let you. Yes, you can. Because someone should. Because you matter. Are you in? By evening, all 6 had said yes. Some crying. Some laughing in disbelief. All of them asking the same question. Why me? Because you deserve to be seen, I told each of them. I booked a different villa. Bigger this time. In Kauai instead of Maui. Somewhere James and I had never been. Somewhere I could build new memories instead of trying to recreate old ones. I booked flights for 7. Rental car. Luau tickets. Snorkeling. A sunset catamaran cruise. Spa appointments. I spent $19,240.67 of the Hawaii fund. The rest I kept as cushion. And I slept better than I had in 3 years. We left for Kauai on May 2, 2023. 7 women between ages 62 and 74. All of us overlooked by the families we'd built with our own hands. The villa was perched above Hanalei Bay, where mountains dropped into turquoise water and the sunsets turned the sky into liquid gold. That first night, I set James's photo on the dining table. Not with sadness this time. With gratitude. Carol raised her wine glass. To Marilyn. For remembering that mothers are people too. To Marilyn, they echoed. I raised my glass. To us. To being seen. To taking up space. We clinked glasses. And for the first time in 3 years, the trip I'd dreamed of actually happened. Just not with the people I'd expected. We spent the week doing everything I'd planned. Snorkeling at Tunnels Beach. Watching the sunrise at Hanalei Pier. Learning to hula at the luau. Eating poke bowls and shave ice. Laughing until we cried. Beverly, who'd never seen the ocean, stood in the water crying the first morning. I'm 68 years old and I never knew water could be this color. Dorothy got a tattoo at 71. A small wave on her wrist. So I never forget I deserve to make waves, she said. We didn't post on social media. We didn't need witnesses. We were witnesses for each other. On the last night, we sat on the lanai watching the sunset. Carol turned to me. Can I ask you something? Do you regret it? What you did to your son? I thought about it. Really thought about it. No. I don't regret setting a boundary. I regret it took me 64 years to learn how. Do you think he'll apologize? Maybe. Maybe not. Either way, I'm not waiting by the phone anymore. Linda squeezed my hand. You did a hard thing. But you did the right thing. I did the necessary thing. That night I walked down to the beach alone. Dipped my feet in the water. Held James's photo up to the sunset. I'm sorry we never made it here together, I whispered. But I think you'd be proud of me. I finally learned to stop carrying people who refused to walk beside me. The waves whispered back. And I swear I heard his voice in them. About damn time. I returned home on May 9th tan. Rested. Changed. Nathan had texted 3 times while I was gone. Each message progressively more desperate. Nathan, May 3rd Mom, we need to talk. Nathan, May 5th Tanya says I need to fix this. Can we come over? Nathan, May 7th please. The kids miss you. I waited 2 days after getting home. Then I responded, I'm available Sunday at 2 p.m. You and Tanya only. No children until we've had an actual conversation. Sunday at 2 p.m., my doorbell rang. Nathan and Tanya stood there. No suitcases this time. Just 2 adults who looked like they'd been through something hard. I let them in. Offered coffee. They both declined. Mom, I'm sorry. Nathan's voice was raw. What I did was wrong. What we did was wrong. You deserved better. I waited. Tanya shifted uncomfortably. Finally, I'm sorry too. I didn't realize. I knew you'd paid for everything, but I didn't think about how it would feel to be excluded. You didn't think, I said evenly, because you didn't care. Until it affected you. Silence. Here's what I need you to understand, I continued. For 3 years, I saved every dollar I could. I tutored online until midnight. I ate cheap food. I canceled everything that brought me joy. Not because I'm wealthy. Not because it was easy. But because I thought we were building a family memory together. I looked at Nathan. You let me believe that for 3 years. You took my money, my effort, my love. And then you sent me a text at 11 p.m. telling me I'd done my part and should now disappear. I know. Do you? Do you know what it feels like to be treated like an ATM by the child you raised? To realize your only value is financial. Nathan's eyes filled with tears. No. Then let me tell you. It feels like dying. It feels like every sacrifice you made for 38 years meant nothing. It feels like you're invisible. Tanya spoke up. I was wrong. I was thinking about what I wanted and I didn't consider your feelings. I'm sorry. Are you sorry you did it, or sorry you got caught? She flinched. Both, honestly, but mostly that I did it. I nodded. Okay. Thank you for that honesty. So where do we go from here? Nathan asked. Can we fix this? That depends. Are you willing to do the work? Yes. Anything. Then here's what I need. First, acknowledgement that what happened was wrong. Real acknowledgement, not just smoothing things over. You have it. Second, boundaries. You don't get to make assumptions about my money, my time, or my presence. If you want me somewhere, you invite me. Actually invite me. Agreed. Third, respect. I am not a bank. I am not a convenience. I am not optional. I'm your mother. Treat me like I matter or don't treat me at all. Nathan was openly crying now. I will. I promise, Mom. And fourth, time. This doesn't get fixed today. Trust is rebuilt through consistent behavior over time. You want me back in your lives? Show me I belong there. We will, Tanya said softly. We really will. I looked at them both. Saw genuine remorse. Saw understanding, finally, of what they'd done. Okay. We can try. But Nathan, if you ever treat me like that again, I won't answer the phone. Are we clear? Crystal clear. They left half an hour later. No magical reconciliation. No tears and hugs. Just 2 adults who'd learned a hard lesson and a mother who'd learned she was worth more than she'd been accepting. That evening, I made dinner for one. Put on music. Danced in my kitchen. For the first time in 3 years, I wasn't saving for anyone else's dream. I wasn't sacrificing for someone else's vision. I was just living. My phone buzzed. A text from the group chat I'd made with the 6 women from Cowie. Beverly, missing that sunset already. Same time next year. Carol, I'm in. Marilyn, are you planning another trip? I smiled. Typed back, already started saving. But this time, we decide together where we go. 6 heart emojis came back immediately. I looked at James's photo, still sitting on the kitchen counter where I'd unpacked it. I did it, I told him. I finally did it. I chose me. And I swear, in the reflection of the glass frame, I saw him smile. The relationship with Nathan and Tanya improved slowly. Very slowly. They started inviting me to family dinners. Actually inviting me, with notice and planning. They included me in the kids' events. They called just to check in, not just when they needed something. It took 8 months before I felt like I was part of the family again instead of a peripheral obligation. And Olivia, my granddaughter, asked me one evening while we were baking cookies, "Grandma, why didn't you come to Hawaii with us that time?" I knelt down to her level. Because, sweetie, sometimes adults forget to invite people who love them. And sometimes the people who were forgotten need to remind them that love goes both ways. Did it work? I looked at Nathan across the kitchen, listening, learning. Yeah, baby. I think it did. 6 months after Cowie, I received an envelope in the mail. Inside was a check for $10,000 from Nathan and Tanya with a note. "Mom, we know this doesn't cover everything you spent on the trip that never happened. But we want to start paying you back. Not just financially. In every way. Thank you for teaching us that you're worth more than we were treating you. We love you. Nathan, Tanya, Olivia, and Mason." I didn't cash the check right away. I put it on my refrigerator where I'd see it every day. A reminder that boundaries weren't cruelty. They were necessary. A reminder that choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's survival. A reminder that the people who really love you will learn, will grow, will show up. And the ones who won't? They were never your people anyway. 3 years later, I'm 67 now. Nathan and I have rebuilt something real. Not perfect, but honest. The 6 women from Cowie? We've taken 4 more trips together. Portugal, Alaska, New Orleans, Montana. Each one planned together. Each one funded by all of us. Each one a celebration of being seen. And the Hawaii Family Fund? I closed it. Started a new one. Called it the Marilyn Fund. Because I learned something important at 64 years old that I wish I'd learned at 24. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't love people who treat you like you're invisible. And you can't fund other people's dreams while neglecting your own. The family that excludes you and then expects your money isn't your family. They're your leeches. The friend who only calls when she needs something isn't your friend. She's your user. The child who treats you like an ATM isn't honoring you. He's exploiting you. And the moment you stop participating in your own diminishment, that's not the end of your story. That's the beginning of your freedom. If this story resonates with you, if you've ever been the family bank that nobody respects, if you've ever funded someone else's dream vacation while staying home alone, if you've ever been told you did your part and should now disappear, I need you to do 3 things right now. First, subscribe. These stories need to be told. The stories of mothers who get erased, of women who get used, of people who finally say enough and choose themselves. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss another story that might change how you see your own life. Second, comment below. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me if you've ever been excluded from something you paid for. Tell me if you've ever had to set a boundary that broke your heart but saved your life. Your story matters. Your experience matters. Share it. Third, share this video. Because somewhere right now, there's a mother eating ramen so she can add $20 to her child's fund. There's a grandmother being told she's too much for the family gathering she helped pay for. There's a woman who thinks setting boundaries makes her selfish. They need to see this. They need to know they're not alone. They need to know choosing yourself isn't cruelty, it's clarity. You are not a bank. You are not an ATM. You are not a resource to be drained and discarded. You are a person who deserves to be invited, included, and valued. And if the people in your life can't see that, that's not your failure. That's your freedom. Subscribe now. Comment your story. Share this message. And remember, the trip you're funding should always include you. Hit that subscribe button. Leave your comment. And let's build a community of people who know their worth and refuse to settle for less. You deserve better. You always did.